Hi, Sarah. Thanks for inviting my son over yesterday. He said he had so much fun playing with your son. I hope he was a good boy.
No problem, Nora. He was a really good boy. He has a quiet personality just like you. I want to thank him for being good friends with my son.
Really? I'm glad to hear that. He can be really naughty when he's at home. Maybe he gets nervous at his friend's house.
Maybe. Boys his age are so naughty at home. My son was so naughty this morning, I was exhausted by the time he left for school.
Me too. Without my husband's help, it would have been impossible for him to get ready for school in time. Young boys are really energetic.
I'm so jealous. Such a nice husband. Your husband helps you take care of your son? My husband never helps me look after him.
Really? Your husband looks kind, though.
He's definitely kind, but he's really busy with his work. Thanks to his hard work, he was able to get a promotion and now gets a good salary.
That's great.
Yeah, it is, but there are some bad things too. He's really talented, so he attracts a lot of attention.
Isn't that a good thing? I don't see any disadvantages.
Well, he's not only talented, but also handsome. He's kind and good at his job as well, so he's quite popular among boys and girls. It makes me worry as his wife. Do you get what I'm trying to say, Nora?
Yeah, I bet he's really popular at his office. I think I get why you're worried.
Right. I really don't know why he chose to marry me. You know, I can be aggressive sometimes. It might have been better for him to marry a more elegant and feminine woman.
Don't worry. Your personality is definitely one of your charms. Your husband fell in love with you. You should feel more confident.
I hope so. If only I was elegant and feminine like you, Nora. I wouldn't have to worry about these things.
Me? You have your charms, Sarah.
Really? Don't flatter me. I might get overconfident about myself.
I'm serious. You should feel confident about yourself.
I feel like I forced you to say this. Nora, you really helped me gain my self-confidence. Thanks.
I just told you my honest thoughts.
You're really kind. Oh, by the way, I was hoping if we go to our son's open school together.
Sure, I was also planning to visit his open school. Thanks for asking. I thought you were going with close mom friends.
I wanted to go with you. I actually got into a little fight with them the other day, so we decided to go separately this time. And our sons are in different classes anyway.
Oh, I see. I'm happy you asked me. I'll see you on open school day then.
Our sons are great friends as well. I guess we all get along. I'll come pick you up, okay? I heard they were going to read their essays for us during open school. I'm so excited to hear about what they wrote.
Was the topic about their family? It's kind of embarrassing to hear what they think of us, but I'm also looking forward to it.
I know, I'm a bit nervous to be honest. See you on open school day.
Hi, Sarah? I have a question to ask. Do you have some time right now?
What? I'm really busy. If you have anything you want to ask me, go on. Let's end this quick.
Then I'll get straight to the point. Your son has been acting weird recently.
Weird? How? Can you be a bit more specific?
Did you tell your son to ignore my son?
Why would you think so?
My son told me that your son ignored him at school today. When he asked him for the reason, he said so.
My son said that? His honesty is his charm, but I guess he's a bit too straightforward. I should have told him not to say that.
So you admit it? Why would you tell your son to ignore my son?
Why? I think it's pretty clear. You really don't know why. How about you think of the reason yourself?
I noticed your attitude changed all of a sudden. You used to text me a lot before, but you barely text me now. Even if I text you, you tend to ignore my messages and never reply. But I really don't know why you changed so much.
I'll give you a hint. Open school. Do you remember anything?
Did I do something that offended you?
Think about your husband.
My husband? He wasn't there with us, though.
He wasn't, but your son revealed something in his essay. He said that his dad stays at home every day and plays with him. Doesn't that mean he's jobless?
No, he has a job. He's often at home, but he has a job. He works every day just like your husband.
He can't be at home if he really has a job. I have to make wise choices about who to be friends with. I can't let my son be friends like someone whose dad is jobless.
He has a job. Don't look down on us. And our sons have nothing to do with this in the first place. They've been great friends for a long time. It's up to them to choose who they want to be friends with.
You have no idea about how friends can influence your child. Both my husband and I are intelligent people, and my son is also both intelligent. Got it? What if my son becomes stupid like your son by being friends with him? Can you take responsibility for it?
Are you insulting my son as well? I love my husband and son. They are really important to me. I won't allow you to insult my family.
If you were smart like me, you wouldn't be emotional like this so easily. You should just interact with your kind of people. Stupid people like you. I don't want you to get involved with my son.
Okay. I never knew you were so mean, Sarah.
What if I was? It's none of your business. I don't need a poor friend who married a jobless guy.
Alright. I won't text you anymore. And I will never get involved with your family. Are you happy with that?
Of course. I don't want to interact with poor families. I never want to be poor like you. Nobody ever bring your son near my son. Tell your son not to play with my son ever again. He is definitely a negative influence.
I'm exhausted.
What's the matter, darling? It took you longer than usual to take your lunch break.
Oh, I'm really busy. I barely have time to eat my lunch. A big project is coming up. I know it's my job, but it's really tiring.
Are you okay? Don't push yourself too hard, okay? I get that you're busy, but you have to take a break once in a while.
Sorry to make you worried. But others work harder than me.
Your colleagues?
Nah, the engineer we're working with. He doesn't work for our company, but he's great. He's famous in the field. Without him, our project would have failed a long time ago.
I never heard you praise someone so much. I bet he's really great. I hope my poor mom friend gets to hear about him.
Poor mom friend. What are you talking about?
Her family is so dumb. They don't understand how poor they are and the negative influence they're giving to their surroundings. Her husband is jobless.
Life must be hard for them then. So, does his wife work instead?
No, she's a housewife. I really wonder how they're making a living. I guess they depend on their parents' money.
I feel really sorry for their child.
Really? I thought so too. Jim was friends with their son, so I told him to start interacting with them. I think he'll be a negative influence for Jim.
Do I know him too? If you're friends with his mom, I think I know him too.
Oh, I'm talking about Nora and her family, but there's nothing to worry. I told her to never get involved with our family.
Nora and her family? Are you serious? Tell me you're kidding. You haven't offended her, have you?
What's wrong? I only told her the truth that she wasn't aware about. Her stupid family is definitely a bad influence for Jim.
You're the stupid one. Come to my office right now to apologize. Right now!
Huh? What's wrong with you? Why do I have to do that?
The engineer I was talking about earlier, he is Nora's husband.
Huh? You have to be kidding. Her son wrote in his essay that his dad stays at home all the time. Doesn't that mean her husband is jobless?
He's a freelance engineer. It's not a rare job nowadays. You misunderstood and insulted her. How can you insult her based on your assumptions?
Wait a minute. What's gonna happen if I don't apologize?
He's a calm man. I don't think it will affect our project, but you insulted not only his wife, but his son as well, right?
Not exactly. I might have sounded a bit aggressive, though.
You definitely offended his family. If I was them, I wouldn't want to work with someone whose wife insulted my family. Project might end up failing because of you.
That can't happen. I can't directly insult her husband.
Just come to my office right now to apologize. Fortunately, he's visiting our office today. Hurry up! Got it?
Nora, you have to help me. You're the only one I can rely on.
I can't believe you're texting me after all the things you said yesterday. What do you want from me?
I heard about your husband from my husband. He's not jobless, is he?
Why? Does your husband know my husband?
Your husband works with my husband's company, right? I met him today.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. And what do you want?
My husband told me your husband has been a great help, so I want to apologize about what I said to you yesterday. I'm really sorry, Nora.
How does your apology relate to you asking me for help?
Your husband seemed really angry about it. Both my husband and I apologized to him, but he said he won't accept our apology unless you forgive me. He said he can't make the decision because it's also about you and your son.
So, you want me to tell my husband that I forgave you?
Yes, that's right. I might have been a bit offensive, but we're good friends, aren't we? Friends fight sometimes. Let's both forget about it.
No, I can't forget about it. We're not friends anymore, are we? You're the one who wanted to stop being friends.
I'm asking you to forget everything I said. Let me apologize for everything I said that offended you. I'll allow my son to play with your son, so please, we can be friends again, can't we?
Why do I need to allow my son to be friends with your son? I thought you were the one who was asking for help. I don't think you really feel sorry.
Let's just ignore the small details, okay? I thought you were a kind-hearted person, Nora. You seem to be narrow-minded today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just told you my honest opinion.
Your honest opinion? If you have anything you want to say, I'm ready to listen. I'm always your friend.
Let me be really honest with you. Why are you apologizing via text, not in person? Do you really feel sorry?
You know, I don't want to bother you by visiting your house. I'm being considerate.
What's with your arrogant attitude? I'm the one who decides if I forgive you or not. You don't sound sorry at all, Sarah. It's like you're apologizing for your own good.
No, that's not true. I'm the one to be blamed. I'm fully aware of that. So don't be so mean to me.
Is this funny to you? If you don't feel sorry, don't apologize. It's frustrating. I don't think I can forgive you, Sarah.
Nora, do you know that I'm older than you? Can't you respect me more? How can you say something so mean?
If you want respect, act like you deserve it. I don't think you're worthy of respect.
Don't you remember that I was the one who talked to you first? Who do you think helped you to make many mom friends? How about express some gratitude?
Gratitude? You have to be kidding. You never acted out of kindness. You just wanted someone you can look down on.
How dare you say that?
The only thing you do is brag about your husband. You talk it away to get praised by others. And if you dislike someone, you instantly kick them out of your friend group. Many of your mom friends feel the same. You're a difficult person to be around.
Huh? Who would ever say that? Have you been making fun of me all this time?
You could be difficult sometimes. But I always looked up to you. You have great leadership. Well, I regret looking up to you, to be honest.
If you thought highly of me, can't you just forgive me? You looked up to me at one point. We can be friends again, Nora.
There's nothing I can respect about you at this point. You insulted both my husband and son. I don't think I can be friends with someone who insulted my family.
I'll allow your son to be friends with my son again. Are you destroying your son's friendship because of your own problem? I don't think that's something a mother should do.
There's nothing I have to worry about. Your son apologized to my son the other day. He said sorry he ignored him just because his mother told him to.
Huh? Jim said that?
Good for you, Sarah. Your son is a good boy. He's indeed very intelligent. I respect your ability to raise such a good boy. How about you learn how to be mature from your son? Because you're definitely being more immature than him. After our conversation, I instantly blocked Sarah. I then sent all the conversation I had with Sarah using messages to her husband. He was so shocked to read all the messages he sent me, and he decided to live separately from his wife. My husband never planned to make his personal emotions get in the way of his work, so he still works with Sarah's husband. To avoid the worst-case scenario of their project failing, her husband wanted Sarah to apologize, just in case. He hoped she would learn from this experience and better her personality in the future. But sadly, she did not seem to learn anything from it, so her husband decided to live separately to reconsider their marriage. I no longer keep in touch with Sarah, but our sons remain to be great friends with each other. Her honest and kind-hearted son reflected on his actions, regretted ignoring my son because his mom told him to, and apologized to my son. My son is lucky to have such a good friend. I hope he can continue to cherish this friendship in the future, and grow up to be a wonderful gentleman.
Abby, I remember you said something about seeing your dad soon. When is it again?
To visit a hospital? I was going to see him the day after tomorrow. Why?
I thought I'd tag along. I haven't been able to make time to see him in a long time.
Oh, it's so sweet of you. I think he would be very happy to see you. But I'm a bit surprised you'd suggest anything like that.
Why would you be? I do care for your father, in case you didn't know.
I know you do, honey. I'm very thankful that you do. But you have work that day, don't you? Are you going to take the day off?
My office is close to the hospital, so I will use my lunch break to come see him. I won't be able to stay that long, though.
Oh, that's not a problem. I will let him know and ask him to try to stay away around lunch.
Does he sleep a lot during the day now? Is his condition that bad?
Kind of. He sleeps most of the day recently. I haven't been able to speak to him much either because he is barely awake whenever I see him. I think it's because of what the doctor told me. It means he is losing his strength.
I see. I hope he gets better soon. My parents send their regards too.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing. I have a favor to ask. Will you help me?
A favor? What is it?
I'd like to borrow some money from your dad, and I want to talk to him about it, but I don't want to be rude, so will you ask him with me?
What? Why do you need money? Did you do something?
No, it's not me. My parents have some sort of loan. I want to help them pay it off, but I don't have enough. But your dad has all his investments and all that, so I was wondering if he'd be able to help.
Luke, I don't think that's very appropriate. He is very ill right now. Now is not the time to talk about money.
I don't have any other options. The payment is due in a matter of days.
That's their problem. I'm sorry, but my father has nothing to do with it. If you really want to help them, I think it should be from us, not from my dad. If that's the case, I can help.
I wouldn't ask your dad if I could help them myself.
Is the loan that big? How much do they need?
I think about $30,000.
30 grand? I know your parents are big spenders. Did they splurge on something unplanned?
No, they wouldn't do that. What the hell do you take my parents for?
Well, I have my reasons to be suspicious of them. Anyway, you can't ask my dad. He is ill, for God's sake. Don't say anything ridiculous.
But Abby, they could get in real trouble.
Will you think about how my father would feel? He will be very sad to find out that you only paid him a visit to ask for money. Sorry, but it's a firm no.
Well then, I won't. Do you think you can when you think it's best? I mean, preferably as soon as possible.
Okay, we will discuss this another time. But I mean it when I say you can't ask him, or else you cannot visit him.
Fine.
Luke, what the hell was that? I told you not to.
I'm sorry, but you weren't helping. If you had asked in the first place, I wouldn't have today.
How dare you? And why the hell did your parents show up? You cornered my father. You shouldn't have brought them.
My parents are the ones who need the money. It's appropriate that they ask in person.
So you want to talk about manners? What do you think about cornering a bedridden man for money, huh? Have you no shame?
Like I said, we don't have any other option. And what's wrong with your dad? How can he be such a cheapskate when he has so much money? We asked politely.
Excuse me? You've got some nerve to complain. He refused to lend your parents any money because he couldn't understand why your parents need it. They were not clear about why they have such a big loan suddenly.
His family is in dire need. All he cared about was how many parents ended up like that. Or if they even really had any loan to pay off. How rude can he be?
The only rude people in that room were you three. You guys stormed into his room and barely said hello before you started to talk about money. Yet, you can't even answer why you need it? Give us a break.
That's what I mean by cheapskate. A real man wouldn't ask and just hand out money to be needy. So stingy. My parents were so disappointed.
You're the one who is disappointing. I had been clear about not asking him. You broke that promise.
I did what was necessary to help my parents. But your dad refused to help them despite his wealth. I am so ashamed to call someone so selfish my father-in-law. I guess money couldn't buy him compassion.
You know what? We should get a divorce. Then you won't have to be related to him anymore.
Are you being serious?
I don't care if we do. What you did to my father is worth a divorce.
I won't take you back, even if you regret it later. You understand that?
Oh, don't worry. I do. I will call my lawyer now and have him prepare the documents immediately. You should call your lawyer too.
Fine then. I will. I'll even sign the papers right away. Don't come back to me crying. Hello, Abby? You're still mad? When are you coming home?
I thought we were both ready to get a divorce. How can you act like this is all well?
Yeah, well, you know the whole divorce thing fell through. You agreed to hold it off afterwards.
I agreed to hold it off because my father was in critical condition and I didn't have time for you. I can sign the papers right now and go file it at court.
Don't be so cold. I got a little heated. You know, spur of the moment. You shouldn't have brought up a divorce in the first place.
Spur of the moment. Huh. You signed the papers before you even read them.
I wasn't thinking clearly. You know I love you. And I know you love me too. We would be such fools to let anger drive us towards a divorce.
Whatever, Luke. I'm busy right now. I don't know when my dad will worsen again. I agreed to hold it off, but I won't be returning home.
He's been fine for a couple of days now. Why don't you come home and relax for a bit?
The doctor warned me. He said his body could give in any time, so there's no relaxing for me right now.
Why can't you care for me a little, huh? I've been living off frozen pizza for days. I'm so sick of it. I don't get to eat anything decent when you're not home.
You really don't care about anyone else but yourself. My father is dying. Take care of your goddamn self.
Why should I care for him? He refused to help my parents. I'm not going to raise one finger for that cheapskate.
You are unbelievable. You should get some help. Really.
But it is all his fault. We asked so politely. By the way, don't bother to invite us to his funeral. We don't give a damn about him.
Seriously? You are still his son-in-law.
I married you, not him. He's not a real relative. He chose to be a stranger to us when he refused to lend us money.
How pathetic. He'd be so sad to hear all this.
I said I don't care. Anyway, come home already. I don't have all day to ask nicely, you know. You need to do what is required of a wife.
Oh my gosh, I have to go.
Huh? What is there to prioritize above your husband?
My dad is crashing again. I don't have time to talk to you. If you want to come, help yourself.
Hell no. Like I said, I won't be attending his funeral either. Just come home when things are over, okay? Good luck. Hey, Abby. How have you been? You must be tired from everything. From the funeral to cleaning up his house and all.
What do you want?
So feisty. You haven't been home in so long. I've been worried about you, you know? You handled everything on your own, right?
Yes, because the man I used to call my husband provided zero support. Nor did he show up to his father-in-law's funeral.
At least I told you beforehand that I wouldn't be attending. Anyway, glad everything is done and over with. So, when are you coming home? I really miss your cooking.
Funny. You are actually hilarious.
Come on, don't be so sarcastic. So is it true? Did your dad really leave you $100 million?
Where the hell did you get that from? You're not supposed to know.
Some of your relatives really like to gossip. But I mean, $100 million? We would have so much even after paying off my parents' loan. Should we buy a house?
We are not buying any house. We are divorced and not related anymore. I have nothing to do with your parents' loan. Please handle it yourself.
What are you talking about? We decided to hold off on that, remember? Stop playing around.
You mean you don't recall signing the papers? You know I kept the papers. It was up to me whether I file it or not.
What? I never agreed to anything. I told you it was all spur of the moment.
But you signed it, didn't you? You even said that you won't take me back. So I went ahead and countersigned the papers. I don't see what the problem is.
You can't still be mad at me, Abby. Is this about your dad? All right, I'm sorry. Don't hand the papers in, honey.
I told you. It's been filed already. In fact, they were filed the day after you said you are not attending my father's funeral. Everything is too late, Luke.
You better be joking. You just want the money to yourself. You will not get away with this.
Get away with what, exactly? Keeping what was bestowed to me? What makes you think you are entitled to anything of what my father left?
You will pay me consolation money. I'm sure you have enough. You'll also pay off my parents' loan.
You are so dumb, Luke. Why in the world would I do that? I do not have a single penny to spare you or your parents.
You filed the papers without me knowing? I never gave you permission to do that. You will pay for what you've done.
No, I will not. I have absolutely no fault. You should blame yourself for signing at the spur of the moment.
Then let's get married again. It's inevitable that the papers were filed, but we can redo our marriage. We still love each other. Our divorce is all a misunderstanding.
Nice try. But I will not be wasting another second on someone who thinks of my father as some sort of money tree. I wish someone would pay me for being your wife for this long, actually.
Don't push me away, Abby. I was only trying to help my parents. I was in a panic, you see? I wasn't myself.
Yes, I see.
You get it, right? Then let's get married again. We can enjoy ourselves for the rest of our lives with your dad's money.
I see that this is the true you, Luke. All along, you've been hiding who you really are. You only showed me your good side. I'm so glad that I see the real side now.
No, that's not what I mean. Why don't you understand? I need you in my life, Abby. Please don't leave me.
It's the money you need, not me. I will not be an exclusive ATM to you or your parents. Go figure out your own problem. I'm sure it will be difficult for someone as irresponsible as you to take care of your also irresponsible parents. But hey, good luck! I quickly deleted him from my smartphone after our last conversation. I really did have the divorce papers filed earlier, so I am glad to say that I have no relation to him now. I made several sneak visits to the house to pick up my stuff while Luke wasn't home, and also sold my father's property shortly after. I used what my father left me to move away and start a new life, so I don't think I will ever see Luke again. I heard from a common friend that Luke now lives with his parents. Their loan has become even bigger than it was before, because they keep spending money irresponsibly. Because of that, Luke now works day and night to help them pay it off. But I don't think it will ever end, though. Unless his parents learn how to manage their finances. Luke should have realized that he needed to control his parents before asking anyone for money. But honestly, I couldn't care less how they end up.